So I've got a bunch of things that I've saved to my computer, but I haven't managed to work them into a video. So I'm going to use this right here. And if this works out, maybe I'll do it again if the creek don't rise and the good Lord's willing. So here we go.
You guys remember the Wayfair thing from 2020? Where furniture like these cabinets would be listed at crazy prices like $8,000, $9,000, over $10,000, and the product being girls' names? And a lot of times it would be the same cabinet, but with different names and different prices, with the implication, of course, being, you know. There are also pillows being listed at $9,999 with some very suspicious naming conventions. I'll just put it that way. Now, at the time, the mainstream media, like the BBC, called this a quote-unquote false conspiracy theory. Wayfair responded by saying they use an algorithm to name their products and that some of the cabinets were expensive because they were quote-unquote industrial size meant for commercial and business use. The company's head of global communications, Jane Carpenter, also explained some of the weird pricing to be caused by a feature or workaround where the product would default to a high price like $9,999 until the true price was determined. Well, guess what just came out? There's an email in the Epstein files that shows that Jeffrey Epstein's assistant bought an unnamed item from Wayfair for over $8,000 back in 2018. $8,453 shipped to one Karina Shuliak. She is a whole nother rabbit hole, which we'll get into some other time. But yeah, somebody at Wayfair better go look up this order number and tell us what the heck is going on here, because at this point, it's not enough just to release the files. There needs to be investigations and there needs to be arrests.
So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men in handcuffs being perp walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up.
It's fun to know that they're at least showing us now how that electronics learn to live inside living systems. Does it make you think of the mRNA vaccine whatsoever at all? Yeah.
There goes another person, guys. No, I'm across the street, so I have seen the whole, I saw when the building started exploding and the debris started flying, and I could see parts of what looked like to me a plane, and as it was exploding, I was afraid at our window, the debris was hitting against our window, I was afraid that part of it was going to break through, it was on fire, and yes, I was, and the entire building shook. And I'm from California, I thought earthquake. I look up and the window is completely filled with flames and debris. We could hear more explosions. We could hear more explosions.
That's crazy, but this is even crazier in my opinion, because people tell me all the time that they're no longer spraying the skies in their area, and yet while I'm traveling at any given moment, I can literally film it in the sky. And as you can see right here, there's a complete halo and two sundogs around the sun. Totally natural. It's what happens when barium, strontium, and aluminum reflect the sun's light back. It's a thing, but this is even worse.
You seeing this?
Oh my God. Opening. It's like a door. Holy, that's
you hear that?
Wow.
It's humming.
Wait,
oh, it just closed. It just.
Now, whether this is AI or it's Project Bluebeam 2.0 or it's a natural event, this was posted on the mainstream news. This was on the mainstream media. So this is what they're presenting us. Signs in the sun, moon, and stars.
Could Jeffrey Epstein still be alive?
So this is
the photo, I guess, that's in these files showing that he's sort of dead.
There are so many different ways that you could look at what really was this body, right?
Yeah.
His brother, Mark Epstein, famously was not allowed to see the body. He said that on Tucker Carlson.
I heard it on the news. The government didn't notify me, as they said. I heard it on CNN.
Okay, and I want to show the other picture that you plugged in, the side-by-side comparison of the nose.
Right, they're saying that somehow the nose and the ears do not match.
It's like Biden's chin and Biden's ears. We knew for a long time there was a mask slipping off.
Right.
By the way, I know that they're pointing out the nose here and the ears, but look at the cheeks. Look at the cheekbones. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyebrows. Look at the distance from the eyes to the eyebrows.
I'm generally of the mind that I think he may have not committed suicide. I think maybe something happened to him with the guards. There was some weird stuff going on there with the movement and why the cameras didn't work anymore for some reason.
I personally think that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. This was posted by a prison guard the day before Jeffrey Epstein supposedly killed himself. Not saying anything after this, please do not try to dox me, but last night after 0415 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair and cuffed, but not one triage nurse says they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in and we did not record the plate number, and a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I'm shaking right now, but I think they switched him out.
So I would interpret that as everything before the last sentence of maybe there was some shady things going on and they killed him.
Now, if you guys remember, I told you a few months ago that somebody had inadvertently flown a drone over Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico property, and the drone accidentally caught footage, and that's the footage they just showed you. Jeffrey Epstein's not dead. He's too rich and too powerful, and he works for the Rothschilds, which is Mossad, which is Israel. You see what I'm saying, at any rate. So for some reason, the mainstream media has decided to say that, yeah, maybe there is proof there were giants in the old days like the Bible told us. Well, that would explain things like this a lot easier, wouldn't it? These doors are in a church called St. John Lateran. They're 2,000 years old, and look at the locking mechanism and where it's located, let alone the massive size of the doors. Yes, there were giants in those days. We're not the only living species on this earth that was bipedal, okay? There was them before us, and there'll be them after us, I'm expecting. So local police stations are already adopting these automatic drones, these drones that can deploy by themselves, come back and charge themselves automatically, no problem. And the police think this is cutting edge and keeping ahead of the curve. They don't understand. They're literally giving AI a way to launch drones and manipulate humanity. You're giving physicality to AI, and they don't get it. It's just insane, but here's another thing that's insane. In a state like Texas, for what Texas has always stood for, the Lone Star State, take a look at this. Over 10,000 plus Muslims gathered at Texas Suhoor Fest in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, this is a problem. These people are incompatible with our lifestyles, with our religions, with our way of lives. And yet, while everyone's distracted with, illegals up in Minnesota, they're all over Texas, big time. But I mentioned that a couple of months ago and no one seems to care. What are you going to do? And meanwhile, in New York, this is going on. This is all very, very real. Now, there's going to be some strong words from a heavily tattooed man at the end, but I believe it's apropos, so I'm going to leave it. At any rate, that's all I got.
Y'all better take that shit somewhere else. You know we're all waiting for orders too, right? And when we finally get the green light, we ain't gonna do no bitch made sneak attack. We coming right through the front door like the most epic game in Call of Duty. And I'll let y'all know right now, pissed off Americans ain't no backyard Islamic monkey bar motherfuckers either. We're highly sophisticated man children that spend all of our fucking money on ammunition and gun parts. And most of us have been waiting on the day where we can play a POV game of modern warfare in downtown Dearborn. And I'm not just talking about conservatives. I'm talking about fucking Proud Boys. You got ex-military, combat veterans. You got YNs with sticks and switches, blood, Crips, GDs, you fucking name it. We're gonna fuck you up. So think about that next time Allah tells you to blow some shit up.